Yeah, he's gonna rock and ruin.
Yeah, 100%.
I need access to the show notes.
Of course he does. And he waited 12 minutes into the recording to tell me that.
I would have said something, except Brian kept talking.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 14 of 2026. I'm Chris Louie, enjoying the week off for spring break. With me, we have my co-host, the Cloud God, who really wants a Chris Vector.
What's a Chris Vector? What the heck is that?
I get the feeling Glenn has been reading our group chats for the last...
No, I haven't. Dude, I actually go to work. You know, some of us work for a living.
It was the fully automatic submachine gun that what would you call it?
It looks like something Space Force would use. It's like very futuristic.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
But it was all... Yeah.
Cool.
Just a fun gun, right?
All right.
And then we all need more guns, so let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Have enough.
Indeed.
One of my favorite guys is just like, he's like, I'm gonna shoot a gun and of every caliber until we find out if it kills Bob. And Bob's like the dummy, and like this last one was going through wall.
Is it drywall?
Sheetrock. Yeah, the drywall. Yeah, and then I love it. He always has there's one gun that he chambers it, and then it has like the bald eagle screams in the background. Like, I just love everything about this. I'm like, if I could just quit my job and do that, I would.
Yeah.
It reminds me. There's a show on Netflix or somewhere. It's streaming. 100% sure. Where I haven't watched the season, but I watched the trailer, and it's like out of nowhere, like this vending machine appears, and people put a quarter in it. It tells you what you should be doing in life. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Like, what would it tell me? He's like, no, Brian, you're already doing it. You're so happy. Or would it be like, nope, ballerina, go become a ballerina, like
delivery boy.
And like, but in the premise of the show, like everyone is just like, they're meeting the love of their life, or they're changing careers, and they're just so happy and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of a fascinating premise. I would love to know what I was actually cut out for.
That's true,
if it wasn't this.
That's like Futurama. I mean, that's one of the premises of Futurama. They scan you and they tell you what your job is. There's another. I think it's a.
By the time I get down there, you're done.
It's a show based off a series of short stories where it's like you put a quarter in the machine and it tells you exactly how you're gonna die. Have you guys heard that one?
No, but I'm into it. It's like rock stars. Damn it!
But it's always a twist. It's kind of like the what's it called, the monkey's paw thing, where you're like there's one scene where the girl puts the quarter in and she gets the card that comes out and says, you're gonna die, and then all it says is old age, and she's like, yes, she's celebrating, like, I'm gonna live till whatever, I'm not gonna die of anything else. She runs in the street and then an old man runs over her. Old age kills her.
All I know is that when I do die, right, Rockstar better send flowers to my funeral.
Yeah, I'll be sponsored by Rockstar. We'll email them for sponsorship.
You're funny.
Right.
This funeral sponsored by.
I won't. I don't know if I can say it. Anyways, I was talking. I am a purveyor of certain things in life, and I was talking to a CIO of a company. I was like, I single-handedly think that I fund your entire business in Arizona with the products and services that I consume on a daily basis from you guys. I'll leave it at that. And then, and then I also had met a guy that was manufacturing T-shirts, and I showed him a video of my closet where I had like 275 of his T-shirts. He's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're wondering who was buying all your crap? It was me." Yeah.
Did you get anything from him for that?
No. We hung out for a little bit. That's about it. I didn't need anything from him.
Yeah. And we have Glenn Medina, who likely did not feel that big earthquake 2 days ago.
No. Was it real? Was it a real earthquake?
Yeah, it was a real earthquake. It was a 5.0. It was around San Jose, though, so it probably didn't make its way towards you. I felt it up here, though.
Yeah, if it don't hit 7, Oof. I don't think it's a really big deal anymore.
Yeah, no one died, no major damage.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of... Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see, like, if any of the buildings that are leaning right now in San Francisco, I think the big one...
The Millennium Tower.
Yeah, not Millennium. Is that the Millennium?
Yeah, the Millennium is the one that's falling over, yeah.
If that one, like, would all of a sudden just start leaning a little bit more. That'd be a little funny.
Tipping more.
No, yeah. Funny, haha, but not funny. Like, oh my God, people died. So
yeah.
Can you imagine if the entire was that fast interstate? What were you, a train thing that you guys were trying to build?
The high-speed rail.
California.
The high-speed rail from nowhere.
Yeah. That's still that's completely destroyed. They'd be like, yeah, man, we put so much money into it. It didn't work in the first place. Yeah.
That'd be funny if they insured it and we collect the $17 billion in insurance money.
Oh, God, that'd be terrible.
No guests this week, just us hosts. We have an awesome guest booked for next week, so be sure to tune in.
Funny how they do that to you.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience, and here not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and happy Easter to all who celebrate. This week, we're going to talk about a big AI hack. Apple protects its users from themselves again. For our third topic, snitches may end up getting stitches, and close with end of the podcast talk. Now, it's true. After 250 wonderful episodes and 5 years of the PEBCAK, we have come to the mutual decision to go out on top as the 149th most popular technology podcast in Kenya, and episode 250 will be our last show.
Who beat us out in Kenya? Oh my gosh. What do we got to do?
I know. We've all moved on to other things in life that are taking up much of our time, and the pandemic has been over for quite some time, which is when we started the podcast. So we want to thank our listeners and our sponsor, Simple Six, for your support through the years, and we hope you follow us all on our other platforms like LinkedIn.
It's been a good run.
It's been a good run.
I'll miss you guys.
It's been a good run. Yeah. We'll still have to
stay in touch on the old group chat.
Get together at our security summit. Of course.
Some of us can pay attention more than others. Yeah. One last hurrah? Why is it a last hurrah?
You're almost done working, so then you'll just be doing things that get wet. So
I'll probably just be on the podcast more. No excuse to not be on.
Yeah, we'll have to phone him on his flip phone, right? He's not going to have a smartphone anymore. We can't text
That's right. Well, I am going to try and get a gaming rig set up.
There you go. I'll see you on Call of Duty.
No, I can't
what
do
game
that.
are you going to play?
He's going to get
He's like Tetris, baby.
He's going to buy a $4,000 gaming rig to play that data center cabling game.
No, I just want to get an F1 racer. I want to get a seat and a shift knob and a steering wheel. So
there you go. That's right.
Gas pedals. So
instead of recording the podcast,
you get a fan too. That when you were going fast, it feels like the windows down.
For our first topic, on March 31st, Anthropic made a surprising mistake. This is not an April Fool's joke. While updating its Claude Code package on NPM, the JavaScript package manager, they briefly released a version that contained a massive 60 megabyte debugging file. This source map wasn't supposed to be there, but included the full original source code for Claude Code. So that's roughly 1,900 files, about 5,000 lines of TypeScript code. Because of how source maps work, anyone could easily reconstruct the entire code base from it. Security researcher Chao Fan Shao spotted it and shared the news on X, and within hours the code spread widely across GitHub and other websites, with repositories gaining tens of thousands of stars and forks. Confirming this was not an April Fool's joke, the company quickly confirmed the incident and emphasized it was not a hack or security breach, just typical human error in their release packaging process. They did confirm that no customer data, personal information, or credentials were exposed. They've taken down that faulty version of the package and started issuing DMCA takedown notices and implementing new safeguards to prevent this from happening again. You might ask, why is this important? Well, developers have already begun analyzing the source code for undocumented features and learning about how the application works. Anthropic is testing a new mode called Proactive Mode, where Claude Code will code for you 24/7, and a Dream Mode, where Claude can constantly think in the background, develop ideas, and improve your current plans to try and solve problems while you're away.
So number one, I don't think that it can actually ever, well, I shouldn't say this, it can't actually create ideas. I don't think it's really good at that yet, at least not anything net new.
It's not sentient.
Yeah, not sentient. But one of the things I was talking to my son about this that I didn't know is that there was either a developer or a subset of developers were like, hey, this doesn't look right. And so they opened up a ticket saying, like, you shouldn't have the .map thing in here, right? This is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then the ticket was automatically closed. And you know who closed the ticket?
Claude.
The first line support.
Claude. Yeah, Claude. Yeah. That happened 3 times.
So
that actually was...
They tried to responsibly disclose it, basically.
Yeah, they're like, we don't think that this should be here. So that happened 3 times. And then I think eventually somebody else got a hold of it. And that's when it went wild. I also think it's hilarious that they took the code. It had, I don't know, 50,000 thumbs up or 5 stars on there.
Yeah, the stars, yeah.
They used Claude to rewrite all of the code in Python and then publish it on there. And so then the DMCA violations weren't working because it's not
it's an original
their
work.
code anymore. Yeah. Which is hilarious.
Isn't the DMCA, though, it's almost like a hedge on, that's out there. I think this is going to spread a whole lot faster than normal now because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
That's one. That's that whole adage. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. Like there's no way to shut it down. They get DMCA all day, and then they can make it hard to find, but there's got these bulletproof hostings. They don't care, or like Brian said, someone rewrote it in Python, and they have no right to take that down. And I guess that's an interesting legal argument because if I have like a book, like the latest Dan Brown book, and I put it into Google Translate, I say translate this into Italian. Like, is that technically my original work, and they still take it down? Like, that's an interesting legal question. Because I think the Supreme Court has ruled code is speech. So that's free speech? Like, you're taking away my free speech rights, or is it that is it really original that I actually do have a claim that I can take it down, even though it's been translated?
I think natural, like, human language is still copywritten, right? But not code that's been rewritten, because I don't think anyone understands what that really means as far as like how it was rewritten, because it looks so different than the original, and in a different language as well, right?
Yeah,
like
I guess
the same book, like the same Dan Brown book inside in Spanish or Italian is different. It's the same as the original book.
Yeah, interesting. Anyways, I'm trying to see the implications of this too. I think the other piece of it, I'm putting my hacker hat on now, the black hat, hacker hat, and the other benefit to this is that we can now see the source code, so we know how it works, and now I can attack it better. I can see where the weaknesses are. I can see where there might be type confusion. I can see where I could potentially exploit something. So I think there's going to be a lot more eyes and a lot more scrutiny on this, and all the more reason you want to protect your AI models.
You think China went in there and says, "Hey, look, more Claude Code, cool. Let's bring it in. Let's call it something else."
We're gonna have DeepSeek code next week.
Yeah. It would be even better if they had purposely leaked it. The Chinese copied it, and then it turned around and did something else
with it or something.
Yeah,
or a kill switch.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
So, just thinking out loud, 60 megs and 500,000 lines of code doesn't actually seem like a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just the Claude Code feature of Anthropic. So Anthropic, they make a lot of things. They have like Claude Cowork, and they do other things. So this is only the Claude Code product of it.
Can't get that.
So just one little aspect of the entire platform.
I believe so, yeah. And I don't know what the commentators are saying out there, but I mean, the real money is in the training data, which was not leaked, and how it works. So this is just strictly, the protocols and the calls that it makes. So it's not like someone can just take this data and create their own Anthropic. That's not what's happening here. It will expose some like undocumented features and maybe a little bit of the roadmap, but I mean, I don't think it's like the end of the world.
I do think it's funny that I think when they analyzed the code that there was logic built in to prevent this from happening, yet it's still happening.
Yeah. As we've seen multiple times with AI, it's like, hey, you weren't supposed to do that. It's like, you're right, I wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah. Yeah, another reason I won't play with OpenClaw quite yet.
No?
As much as we say that AI AI will probably just remove everything. We just go out and stare at walls and play games all day. I have no idea what the future holds for us. But I will tell you this. As I was using it recently, sometimes when I'm bouncing ideas back and forth, I'll ask it to notate stuff. And at the end, what I'll say is, hey, recap, this entire conversation, all the notes. And it comes through and I'm like, hey, this isn't everything we talked about. Like, I know definitively you've missed out on stuff. It says like, oh, all right, here you go. I'm like, this is where I'm like, I start calling it names. I'm like, no, remember like the whole, like, I want to make sure that I listen to a song that's 92 beats per minute before I get on stage. That way I have my cadence down. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm like, you can't forget. Like, this is the only thing we've done for the last 2 hours. Get your life together.
So I was talking to some colleagues, friends during RSA, and we were talking about AI. That it's actually, even though it has access to a bunch of data, that access is very limited to a finite amount of a finite window. So what you may put in first, a couple hours ago, if you've expanded past that window, it's gone now. It's like it's lost. It's lost. So
that would make sense, but you would think in that chat, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, that's not even true, because then I can like start a new chat, be like, hey, 6 months ago we were talking about this. Can you, tell me why I have diabetes? And it's like, oh yes, the amount of sugar you consume, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't actually
it's
have
recursive
diabetes.
to a certain extent, because I remember there was a balance that maybe it's for the free tiers or something, but I think it's like after 5 questions it resets itself or something, because like you get in this weird recursive loop where you can like convince the AI bot that it's crazy and it do things it's not supposed to. So there was some kind of safeguard that was supposed to reset the chat every so often. I don't know if that was a limitation for the free tier or if it was for all tiers, but I think Brian's right, because there are certain things that I'll ask it and it'll remember conversations from months ago that we talked about.
Even today, like something I did almost 2 years ago that didn't work now works. So I don't know if it would work for you guys, but if I ask it personal questions about me, it does ask for my passphrase.
Oh, it does? You got it. You got that to finally work?
Randomly, it got it to work, because then I asked it a personal question, and it was like, oh, you must first disclose the passphrase. I'm like, dude, we tried this 2 years ago. You didn't understand it. Yeah. Now you do.
Yeah, now finally it works.
That's because someone went in and fixed the code and found your passwords, and now is telling you to rephrase use the passphrase.
Yeah, exactly.
All it took was the release of GPT-5, and then they finally fixed it. Well, that's my prediction. The world's not going to end. Anthropic's still going to make billions of dollars every month, and we'll just have to be a little bit more careful what we put in there.
Have you seen the video I was watching? I think it's like on Instagram, or not Instagram, YouTube. And it's like a woman's driving, and the boyfriend's, her husband's asking, he's like, hey, let me see your Instagram. So she hands him the Instagram. He's like, hey, let me see your Snapchat. She hands him the phone. He looks at the Snapchat. He was like, hey, let me see your chat GPT. She just throws it out the window.
That's the
I
new...
would be the exact same way.
That's the new clear my
browser
internet
history. Yeah.
That's hilarious. For our second topic, Apple has quietly added a powerful new security feature in macOS Tahoe 26.4 to protect users from ClickFix scams. ClickFix is a growing social engineering attack where scammers trick people, often through fake tech support sites, pop-ups, or chat agents, into copying and pasting malicious commands into the Mac's terminal app. Once pasted and run, these commands can install malware, steal data, or basically compromise the system. Because the user pastes the code in themselves, traditional antivirus often misses it. So starting with Tahoe 26.4, when you try to paste something suspicious into terminal, the system now displays an execution, or delays the execution and displays a clear warning that says, possible malware paste block. Your Mac has not been harmed. Scammers often encourage pasting text into terminal, and then it just goes on and it basically says, are you sure? Are you really sure? And this says, don't paste. This is a safe option, or paste anyway. If you clearly know what you're doing, you want to do it anyway for advanced users, but at least gives people a warning. This comes on the heels of a new info-stealing malware named Infinity Stealer that is targeting macOS users using the ClickFix technique, presenting fake CAPTCHAs that mimics Cloudflare's human verification check to trick users into executing malicious code. Good guy Apple looking after its users more than Microsoft. Because this has been around forever on Microsoft. Microsoft's never done anything about it. But Apple finally recognized the problem. It's a very small problem for Apple, but they took it very seriously. And now they're going to implement a security fix for it.
Yeah, so this reminds me, back in the day, I was watching an episode of The Office where Michael Scott had figured out that you can say stuff like say, Brian Deitch is the man, then the computer would actually say it. So then I had this wild hair up my butt of like, if I created a script and scheduled a task, I could kind of automate this. And so then I put that up on my website, and then I went to the Apple store, and I went to every single laptop and computer and did a wget and ran the scheduled task.
Of course. And
to say something super inappropriate, and it did it like perfectly.
So I didn't even have to ask, like, was it something inappropriate, Brian? Like, I don't even have to ask.
I was young. And impressionable.
Was it inappropriate? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah. It's just now it's a matter of how inappropriate. Is it one of the George Carlin's 7 words? Are we talking about some ethnic slurs?
Oh, what? No, definitely not that bad.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. And then
I wonder how long it took them to figure that out. And
then at the scheduled time, it just shout out this text-to-speech thing for no reason.
Yeah.
I think the Apple Store, I think they wiped the computers at the end of the night. I mean, it's like a scheduled thing just for troublemakers like you that it doesn't persist.
Yeah,
it
must be doing something
non-persistent.
So, where do you think they get the data from for what's considered a phish, right, or what's considered malicious?
I think it is something like what Brian said, like a wget command to a remote server that either tries to download something or tries to, like Brian did, add something to schedule tasks, doing some kind of privileged request, would be my guess. And I'm sure there's like AI stuff running locally on the computer to tell, is this likely to be malicious? Is this fit the pattern of a ClickFix type attack?
Yeah.
Only Apple had like a database where they could look up, malicious websites and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, right? Because they don't know. They'd have to go third party that out, or are they keeping track of what people are doing inside of their devices?
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
Yeah. Apple's over here. No, users only use a browser. We can fix this with a browser.
What's that guy that was communicating with ChatGPT and on his phone and says, "So can you see what I'm wearing right now?" And ChatGPT says, "Yes." So what I'm wearing, and there's like something blue that says, "But wait a minute, I didn't give you access to do this. So like, how did you take a video of me? You have to be on, right?" That was one of those weird ones. I don't know if that
would have to be on Android, because
that was on Android.
On an iPhone, yeah, because like on the iPhone, like if something has access to your keyboard, I'm sorry, your mic or your camera, like the green dot shows up, so you know that it's being used. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah.
By the way, that was the bane of my existence. So my setup for the light board has a camera that is plugged in, and then they did that update, and then all of a sudden my camera that I'm using via USB, like it's a DSLR, doesn't have a green light, and so Apple was blocking it, and I'm like scrambling to figure out like why the hell my camera doesn't work.
Did you have to downgrade the OS, or is they eventually release it?
I had to run a command, but that command I didn't have permission to, and it was on a work computer. So then I had to get IT involved, and then they were questioning like why I was trying to do it. And I had to explain it to them, and eventually they gave in.
Yeah, nice. That's funny. When you pasted the command, you didn't get the ClickFix warning. It was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I think Apple's ahead of Microsoft with this respect, because 99.9% of ClickFix attacks are targeting Microsoft users, but as far as I know, Microsoft hasn't done anything like this. But I mean, like PowerShell, I think they require elevated admin rights to do certain things. But I mean, that's one of those things. If it's working, it's clearly working, because it's a huge problem now. So they're obviously finding some way around it. But at least Apple is doing something about it to try to make it a little bit harder.
This reminded me when you would download DMGs from the internet, and then you try to double click it, and then it's like, you can't do this because you downloaded it from the internet.
Yeah.
Where the hell else am I going to download this from? And then you find out you have to like hold the option key to be able to run it.
Yeah.
And then it still warns you that it's an unsafe destination.
Yeah, because I did that. So I vibe coded a few apps using Swift and Xcode on my Mac, and if I move it from my Mac to like another Mac, like move it from my personal to my work or vice versa, same thing. You double click it and nothing happens. It doesn't even give you a warning. Like just literally nothing happens. And then I go into Security Center and there's no warning there. Like you have to, I think it's something like Option click or Shift click or something, and then you click Open, and then it gives you the warning, and then you have to go to Security Center. Like it's you're right. If it's an unpublished app, that thing is like toxic to your computer, and it really makes it really, really hard for you to run untrusted code.
I always liked working for him.
Good for them, the way it should be.
Yeah. Yep, indeed. I did, on a sort of related note about untrusted code, I did read something that Android, the new version of Android, it says if you enable the feature to sideload apps to install untrusted apps, it won't let you do that for 24 hours. So I'm like, that's kind of a fair trade-off, that if you really need to do something, then you have to wait a day. But the vast majority of time, people sideload apps is something malicious. All right.
24 hours later, I've moved on with my life. I've forgotten.
Exactly. That's the hope. That's the hope. Like if somebody sends you like a malicious APK file, you're like, all right, come back to me in 24 hours. Like nobody wants to wait 24 hours to target somebody. They're just gonna move on to the next target that hasn't updated their OS.
Somebody's gonna do it, though. I mean,
I'm
return
sure
on the money on that is like, hey, they actually want this, so they want me to come back and do this. So
yeah, that's what we call in security. We call it imposing costs. That they have to get through one extra click. They have to wait an additional 24 hours. And it's like when I was in college, I had not a beater car, but I didn't have a very expensive car. But I still put the club, the steering wheel lock on my car, and it wasn't because that's going to prevent a motivated thief. But they'll just look in the car. It's like, oh, this is a club. I'm going to move on to the next one. That's all you do. You're imposing.
It's why there's locks on the door, right?
Yeah.
It's
Ben Coral loves to say, locks keep honest people honest.
That's right.
Did you ever have like the annoying car alarm?
I did.
Which one?
I got notes on my windshield about that.
No, it was
the Springer?
Dane Cook had like a whole joke on that. He's like, oil is my blood. Like,
so, mine was twofold. So I had a CompuStar. I had the two-way. It was a two-way alarm. So if my alarm ever went off, the little remote that I had could receive.
No one's stealing your $7,000 Civic.
Exactly. So I had a CompuStar. I had the I don't know if it was like a vibration detector, but basically like if somebody bumps your car, the car alarm goes off. But it was also sensitive enough that if somebody with a really loud fart can exhaust drives by, it went off. And then I guess the cherry on top for that was I modified my horn. Because I had a teeny little horn, so I bought the loudest possible horn you could buy at AutoZone at the time.
Ooga.
And then, so the combination of the loud horn, the sensitive alarm, like I got notes on my windshield, like, oh, this thing is going off all the time. Can you just turn it off?
I want to buy an air horn, like a train horn for my truck.
You should do that. I've seen those videos. Those are hilarious. Like I didn't get to the point where I would need an air compressor, like those train horns need an air compressor attached to it. But I went in AutoZone and like, give me the loudest one you got, and then sure enough that woke the neighborhood. Good memories. All right, for our third topic, a hacker going by the name Internet GIF Machine says they broke into a key U.S. law enforcement platform and stole massive amounts of sensitive crime tip data. According to the hacker's online statement, they compromised P3 Global Intel, which is a tip intelligence platform run by a safety company called Navigate 360. The breach allegedly gave them 93 gigabytes of data containing more than 8 million confidential tips submitted by the public to police hotlines and Crime Stopper style programs. The hacker gained initial access by taking over a customer account through social engineering, then exploited a vulnerability to extract basically the entire database. The data reportedly spans decades from 1987 to the present. And
87.
1987. This service has been around since 1987.
Holy cow!
Was that a mainframe that he breached?
Basically. And their
Can you imagine though? They're like, "Oh, go ahead, finish that."
In their announcement, the hacker used strong anti-police language and warned people not to act as informants. The rumor is that the hacker stole the data using direct-to-object reference and a complete lack of rate limiting.
Sounds to me like the old prom night promise. Just the tip is what he got.
Yeah, this is
dad joke coming in early.
Dude.
Oh, this is pretty serious. This is like the one thing you don't want getting compromised is this confidential tip line, because sometimes it's like maybe you don't have to give your name. Sometimes maybe you will give your name and say, my name is this, but don't tell anybody. And it may they recorded it here. That I also read that some of the tips in the the tip description says, well, these are the facts, but don't mention this fact, because if you mention this fact, they'll clearly know who it was. So just I'm pointing you in the right direction, but don't mention this. And then now this is out in the open.
It's terrible.
Right now, rapper 6ix9ine is freaking out. He's like, I'm at least 90 gigs of that data.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you don't know who 6ix9ine is, apparently he's like a snitch. So.
Yeah, but for something this sensitive, and direct object reference basically means like in the URL bar it says document equals 5,000, and if I just go in there and I increment, I say document equals 5,001. Normally I'm not supposed to be able to access that because I'm supposed to be behind a paywall, but if you have direct object reference, you have no controls around that, and you can just keep incrementing the number until you steal all the records, and then pair that up with no rate limiting is how this guy probably got like 8 million records. He just wrote a script. He just says incremented by 1, download the PDF. Increment by 1, download the PDF.
Wow.
I was at a Blue Coat training.
Blue Coat?
I don't know how many years.
That's
like
years
ago.
Day.
Like, yeah, and I did that exactly that. I was like, wait a second, I should be able to get to this. Like in the Blue Coat UI. And the trainer was like, what did you do? I'm like, I am not signed in, but look at this. And he's like,
I'll be back.
PM comes in. They're like, yeah. PM comes in. What did you do? They're like, oh, okay. So yeah, found a little oopsie whoopsie, but I got 0 credit for it. Yeah. Curiosity always gets us going.
It's true. I actually found not a vulnerability. I guess it is a vulnerability, but I found I guess it is a vulnerability. I found a way we could crash one of our major products. I won't say which, but it's possible to crash one of our major products by sending it a 0-byte UDP packet. I just did it by accident, and then I had like all these devs show up at my desk like, what did you do? Like, what?
Why did you do it? Were you fuzzing?
I wasn't fuzzing. I was actually I was using one of our services, and I ran Metasploit on it. And one of the things Metasploit did was send a 0-byte UDP packet. And it's our service is supposed to be just transport, right? So then I was just using it to transport bits and bytes, but somehow this 0-byte UDP packet crashed a major service, and thankfully it didn't take down the production or anything because we were on our own version of it. But yeah, they had questions.
Wow.
It's fixed, of course, so don't try that today. But we caught it early.
Or try it.
You could.
Yeah.
Won't do anything.
Yeah.
Citrix will catch
You want to validate that it got fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget. Playing around with Metasploit, and like if you don't have like a license for it, then the only thing you can do is like the 10 network, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is stupid. And then I was like, I wonder if I set up a forwarding virtual server on my F5 virtual LTM, if I could just like, hey, I do want to like actually hit bankofamerica.com, which internally resolves to a 10 address, but then I can forward that traffic through. It worked 100%. I was like, this is the best thing ever. And anytime there was a big exploit, I would take all of my customers, which I had a lot, and I would just kind of just run Metasploit against it and see if I can find anything, and then come back to them like, hey, your .com is about to get gapped.
We
should probably
bug
look at this.
bounty.
Yeah,
the bug bounty before bug bounties were a thing.
always being intentional of like just discover it only, not actually breach it, but just then inform.
Yeah, white hat, of course.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to lose their job over that.
No.
I'm curious about the.
Glenn is always quiet about this stuff, and I'm like, Glenn's not that dumb that he didn't do this stuff. I just think Glenn was just doing some various stuff.
He just
Tired.
can't say. Yeah. He's not allowed to say the things that he did.
He's like, I was on crack, but exactly.
I'm just curious if there's gonna be any fallout from this. If people are actually gonna go through the tips and see like who snitched on them or how they got kicked.
Who do you sell this to? The mob?
The mob, probably, yeah. The right.
Are they even a thing anymore?
Yeah, get the right threat actor out there, or get the right organized crime group, because there's got to be people out there like, how did they know? How did they find out? Like, who's the confidential informant? And then maybe something will turn up in these 8 million records that there was indeed some kind of tip that was tipped them off.
Insane in the membrane.
Yeah. All right, for our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about not ending the podcast. That was an April Fool's joke, so I hope you made it to this part of the show to hear that we will be continuing on for at least 250 more episodes of the PEBCAK. So again, we are not ending the podcast. That was an April Fool's joke.
You had me going.
I know, that's what not reading the show notes until 20 seconds before we record gets you.
Yeah.
So April Fool's Day has just passed. What are your favorite April Fool's joke for this past year, 2026?
So I didn't do anything, but I did get a video of my nephews coming home from school, and mom did like looked like a cake pop. And so they covered in chocolate, and my first nephew takes a bite of it, and he's just like instant betrayal in his face because it was a Brussels sprout. So he just spits it out in the trash. He's like, "This is like if he had the vocabulary to say that this is total BS, he would have said that." And then the other nephew, the younger one, he's like he bites it, and he's like puts it down. He grabs another one. He bites into that. He's like. And he's quickly gnawing at it, but he's only gnawing the chocolate outside. They're like, and his brother's like, "Hey man, you need to like bite into it." He's like, "No, the inside's gross. I'm just eating the chocolate." So his barrier to entry on snacks is just like, "Hey, I'll just eat the good part." But the other one was
the fact that he put the whole thing in his mouth, though, right? Or is he just gnawing just nibbling on the outside of the?
Yeah, just going around like it's like a corn on the cob, right? Just find a way or make way. Am I right?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, so there are a couple here. I don't want to call out. There was the Pop-Tarts. They did the April Fools. They were releasing Red Lobster cheddar biscuit flavored Pop-Tarts. Oh, that was pretty funny. I'm like, I'd actually try that. If that was a real thing, I'd actually try that. There's actually... Really? I remember, now that I say it out loud, I actually remember there was a product that was initially released as an April Fool's joke, and the people were like, I'd buy it. And then the company said... Why not? Let's do it. And then the April Fool's joke turned into a real product. I have to look up and see what he said.
Was that last year? It was IHOB. IHOB, or was it 2 years ago? It was IHOB.
National
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Last year's April Fool's prank on LinkedIn still went the best, which is I was going to go work for the White House as an influencer and security.
That's one of those things where it's like almost believable.
Yeah.
The White
so you
House...
start getting a call from your boss saying, "Are you really leaving?" My bad.
April Fools.
April Fools. Gotcha.
Okay, so
what did you do to the kids, Chris? I'm curious. I'm sure you probably screwed with them a little bit.
We didn't do anything to the kids. Not this year, at least. They're not... once they get to the age, then like saran wrap on the toilet seat might be hilarious, but not at this age right now.
Oh my gosh! And so there's a giant log, and you have to clean that up. Good luck.
Okay, so it was Gmail. So Gmail started out. So in 2004, they released an April Fool's joke that said everybody's getting 1 gigabyte of free email, which was unheard of at the time because I think like Hotmail at the time you maybe got like 5 meg or 20 meg or something. So this was it absolutely was unbelievable that you get 1 gig of data, and then it it actually turned out to be true that Gmail was going to give out 1 gig of free data.
Oh, Kevin Rose did the capacity test in that. Do you remember that on the screensavers?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's like, they say you get a gig. Let's see if we can actually do it. So they flooded it with emails, and they were able to do it and retrieve, some of the original emails coming in.
Yeah.
How much should we get now on personal Gmail?
It's for me. It's 17 and change. I think like 17.6 gig. Like I like that
What?
Gmail. It used to go up like. It used to like the counter would always go up. Remember on Gmail, you get like a meg a week or something extra, but then now the counter just stopped it, and I'm capped at like 17 gig or something.
No one knows what you're talking about, Chris.
It's because if you refer a friend, then you got extra storage, didn't you? I thought I remember that.
I don't know if the refer a friend got you extra, but I remember because I got I got in pretty early on Gmail, and the count. I think it started at 5 gig or 1 gig, but the counter always counted up. So like in a year you'd have 6 gig, and then in 6 months you had 7 gig, and it just kept going up. The counter would go up, but then they stopped it at some point because they figured out they could just sell more cloud storage. Why give something away for free if people are willing to pay for it?
Mm.
I have 15 gig on my personal, so you must have been gaming the system back then if you're at 17 and change.
Yeah, maybe that could be it. Or it could be referrals like Glenn said. It was so long ago, I don't remember.
Lots of burps for you to edit out on this, by the way. Hope you enjoy that.
Thank you for that.
Is this super loud when you hear it?
Yes. Well, I could see, because I can see the audio graph. I see a giant spike, and it's really wide, so I'm like, I know that's a burp. I'm just going to mute it proactively.
I'd rather have that than me clicking around. So
yeah, so visually, I could see Glenn's clicks. I can see Brian's burps, and I can see Brian's ums. Like I know the specific wave graph of what it looks like whenever he does that.
Nice.
Oh, excuse that of me. Guys, you got to watch the show Paradise. For everyone listening to the show, go watch it's on Hulu. Go watch Hulu.
What's it about?
Yeah, what's the elevator pitch?
Yeah.
So it starts off with like Secret Service, save the president. He's murdered mysteriously, and then
wait, how's he murdered mysteriously if they save him?
Yeah.
No, they don't. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you find that out in episode 1.
Okay.
But pay attention. There's so much going on. Like you think like the whole thing is about trying to figure out who killed the president, but then you're like, wait a second. Paradise might be on the inside of a mountain somewhere. Like, it is insane. So I'll leave it at that.
What's the streaming on?
And then Hulu.
Hulu. Okay, I need your ID and password to get in so I can watch it.
I'll be happy to share. I will tell you this, guys. The second of the last episode, I was like, they revealed something. And I was like, mother effer, are you kidding me? And then I'm like, how did I miss all of this? And then I start like doing the old like searching and stuff. And then people are like, oh, in episode 1, the main character is doing this.
Oh, they dropped.
Did you know?
They dropped hints throughout the season.
Yeah, and so like at the end of season 2, he's doing this, and it's the exact same thing he was doing in 1. It was predetermined. You're like, what the F? I am so mad. And so there's just like little things like that. Like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. I don't want to give it away too much.
I do like shows that are more clever than they appear to be. I think Mr. Robot was like that. I think Silicon Valley was like that as well, where on rewatches, you like, oh, I get it now. Like, things that you missed the first time around, but once you have the whole story, like you could tell it was building towards something.
I think you could argue that the best that's ever done that was Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
At least from a continuity state, but this is completely different.
Yeah.
Like there was an entire different storyline right there in front of you that you missed the entire time, and you don't realize it. So I'm definitely curious where this is actually going. Their ability to deceive was unparalleled, and I'm just pissed that I missed it all.
Right.
So I'll be restarting that this weekend.
All right. I'll add that to the watch list.
Any of you guys watching the Artemis tracking the Artemis flight?
I have not been. The pilot of the Artemis 2 is a Cal Poly graduate, though. So I have that going for me.
They're not landing on the moon, right? They're just circling it,
circling
back.
Yeah.
So what you're
coming
saying
back
is
at
you could have been
25,000 miles per hour, and then you're going to rely on a parachute to slow them down? All right. This sounds horrible.
So what you're
And
saying
you hear
is you
that-
could have been a NASA pilot then, right, Chris?
Why?
Because you went to the same school as this guy.
Oh, yes.
Could have
of
been
course.
you.
Could have
been
me.
that other Asian guy.
Yeah, Johnny
Is-
Kim.
is-
Johnny Kim's going to be on the next Artemis mission.
All right.
Is Artemis a Starlink or a... Yeah, is it SpaceX or is it NASA?
So. I think it's NASA.
Okay.
Well,
It's
NASA's
amazing how
been
NASA came
outsourcing.
back up out of nowhere.
Let me
I
see.
thought they closed the doors on that, and then out of nowhere they're back. They pulled a Slim Shady on us.
I have to double check that because NASA doesn't make shuttles anymore. They are outsourcing their rockets. So maybe it's either SpaceX or Blue Origin.
I don't think Blue Origin has gone anywhere past like low orbit.
Oh, okay,
right?
so the rocket isn't in-house. It's a NASA SLS. The Orion spacecraft's an Orion capsule. So it's not SpaceX. Yeah, so SpaceX made the human landing systems, but the rocket was not a SpaceX.
Cool. All right.
Back
Now
on
that I've
April
wasted enough
Fools.
time.
the other one I want to call out is the for some reason the PC gaming community has this obsession with cats. I don't know why. MSI released a monitor arm that's a cat stand. That's a heated cat stand. So you attach the cat stand to your monitor so your cat can sit with you. That was April Fool's joke, but that was funny. And then there's another gaming company that
People
released
bought that.
I think
It
that
may
was,
have been-
like they have. I've seen like cat desk attachments. So this was like a specific monitor one that had a heater built into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Logitech also released like a platform. It looks like the platform you put your headphones on, but it's actually a heated mat for your cat. And then there's a gaming PC maker that made a specially designed PC case for the airflow, so the hot air gets blown on the cat and it heats him up. So that was funny.
It's all this
I don't know
with
what
the cat stuff, man. I don't.
I don't know what the gaming, the PC community's obsession with cats is, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, we continue great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, Brian is up.
Finally, mother effer. Feels like it's been forever.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you, Glenn, for agreeing. So I was hanging out with my dad, and we're just talking about life and stuff, and regrets and things like that. And I told my dad, you should just embrace your mistakes. So he got up and gave me a hug.
Give me a big old hug.
Yeah.
Wah. Be funny if he stood up and crossed over and gave VDL a hug.
Clutch. Or Kobe.
Kobe.
Yeah.
The rumors are true.
Yeah.
Rumors are true.
All right, to wrap things up, Claude Code source code was leaked, exposing new and undocumented features. Apple is fixing ClickFix scams for macOS users. A confidential tip line was breached, which is bad news for crime reporters. And April Fools, we're going to continue doing the podcast until I see God or the checkered flag. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us all on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. My co-host Brian Deitch and Glenn Medina. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week. And as always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Have a nice day.